Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Webinar Wednesday with PowerPlate. Today, we are covering optimizing running training programs for performance and recovery. Just to kind of give you a backstory for those of you who are not familiar with PowerPlate or new to us, our story kicked off with our brand roots being settled in the cosmonaut program during the 60s. As cosmonauts returned from space, we were there helping them come back and overcome the muscle loss and bone loss that you get when you're in space. And as you fast forward up into the 90s, PowerPlate became an official brand and was born out into hit the consumer market in 99 to help take care of people and optimize and enhance all movement and recovery for people. And so from that, our promise is that we offer you a total body health and fitness solution that will enhance every movement you do with better results in less time than traditional methods. From anything from warm-ups to recovery, we have everything of those and in between to help you optimize and enhance. Also with us today is the team of PowerPlate that helps support all of our B2B customers out there. And we have Gary Lewis, Jeremy, which is me, and Mindy Crichton. And we are just three real people that want to provide as much of our expertise to help your business grow and develop as you choose to be part of the PowerPlate partnership group and family. Also, today is brought to you in partnership with the Club Spa and Fitness Association, which is the only national association for fitness, spa, and wellness professionals in the private club sector. Whether you want to get plugged in or already are plugged into the private club industry, they are where you go for community education, research, and just being able to grow and develop as a professional within that industry. The way they do this is webinars, similar to the one you're on today. They have regional roundtables, they have white papers, they have networking events, and they also have trade shows. So if you want to get plugged in, you can learn more by going to the Club Spa and Fitness Association's website. And then today, we are going to go ahead and fast forward into the main attraction, which is Mr. Joel Matalon. Many years of experience up in the Northeast, helping people become the best that they can with running and performance centered around endurance training, running. And without further ado, and me stealing all of his time, I would like to let Joe take over and begin sharing with you how to develop optimal running training programs that will let you know everything you need to know about improving performance and recovery with running.
Jeremy, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege and honor. And Gary and Mindy, thank you both. I've interacted with you all for the last 6 months. Just real quick, I found as a triathlete, obstacle course runner, and a marathoner globally, and a coach, I found that the PowerPlate has made a big difference in just my overall mood, well-being, as well as my physicalities. I was approached by the PowerPlate company at the Gym Source in Manhattan, New York, and it was after the day after I did my last Ironman triathlon, and it was just extraordinary. I actually was there for about 2 hours on the PowerPlate, just doing what I needed to do and positioning my body on it and feeling the vibrations of forward, back, left, right, up, and down. It was a new experience for me, and it has made a lasting difference. And I ended up buying a product, and I've been utilizing it for myself, as well as tens of thousands of clients that I've worked with globally. And I wish that this education for the next 20 minutes is useful and valuable for you, as well as if you have any questions that we don't get to it, please call me at 917-860-1450. And I'm happy to answer any and all questions. So with that said, I just want to go through like what I deem to be the most effective way to optimize your training utilizing the PowerPlate devices. So it's the PowerPlate, and I'm going to be doing behind me is this Power Sphere. So I'll step back and do some demos throughout this time and just give you a sense of the benefits it could be. So if Jeremy, yeah, thank you. So there's any good workout, especially let's say you have an event on Saturday or Sunday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you have workouts, and I deem this is best recovery workout and pre-covery. So phase one of every workout will be prehabilitation. So it's body loosening warm-ups to just get yourself realigned. So alignment, posture alignment, and directional alignment are the two main factors in a healthy lifestyle of running for longevity. And so that is phase one, that's paramount. Phase two is, I call the proformers, because you do professional drills. You operate on usually one leg or one arm at a time. And I'll go through some ideas. And the idea is just to not only just do specificity of movement in specific time under tension, but it's also doing the supporting, working the intrinsic muscles actively so that you're not, after you overdo, let's say you do a marathon or an ultra marathon, and you've done a lot of repetitive motion in that direction. And granted, your posture is probably not as intact as it was at mile 1 than it was at mile 60, 70, 100, whatever you're up to. So what we want to do is kind of like do the right exercises to balance. So we're going to be doing exercises in all the phases. Actually, just in phase 1 and 2 is working the sagittal plane, the frontal plane of movement, as well as the transverse rotational plane of movement. And we have some contralateral movements. Again, if everyone's ever gone to a chiropractor and they got that twist of the, around the hips, and it feels so good, it's like that energy is bursting. So my commitment is that everyone who runs is more energized after their run than they were before. So it's, so you're always building towards that euphoria of energy. And then phase 3 is the relaxation phase, equally as important as phase 1 and 2, where you just let yourself just be. It's where you just lay down, actively, because you're going to have the power plate to use, and it'll stimulate all blood flow, circulation, and just a overall mood and mindset training. And it's there you could just kind of go over your performance while you're just kind of relaxing in and letting the vibration do the work. So it's your job is just to undo the intensity of things and just feel great. And this way allows for like molecules, blood flow, and your mind to just move in a new way than you had before, because you now have this accomplishment, however you did or didn't do that day. So if you could just go to the next slide, that would be great. Thank you. So phase 1, so how the workout works, the ideal workout is phase 1, 10 minutes. So this is specific movements in all the planes of movement, and at 10 minutes to start with. So phase 2 is 10 minutes of body strengthening exercises with a little bit of dynamicism in it, and you'll see what it is. So if you're on a power plate right now or just taking notes, it's all good. Do whatever you can as we go along. And of course, actually, I just want to stop for a second. Please write down now what you would like to get from today's lecture, webinar. And at the end, just let me know if we, I'll know by the questions that you ask, what, did I fulfill on that? And of course, if it's unfulfilled, please, again, call me. So, and then the phase 3 is really just the restoration of the mind, the muscles, the molecules, and kind of just let yourself be. And when we do this workout, again, it's 30 minutes, 3 times a week. And you could certainly incorporate it in other ways, but today I'm just going to leave you with like a structure to work within. So if Jeremy, the next slide will show everybody the guidelines to do it. So let's say we have a 16-week or 4 months plan of action, or our running season. Here's what I deem to be a successful re-education of the body, and training and coaching others if you coach others, but more importantly, you'll learn to coach yourself. And okay, great. So now June will be 10, 10, 10 in all the phases. So no need to go anymore. But as you increase your mileage or whatever activity you're doing, you want to increase the amount of time warming up and the time cooling down, or restoration phase, phase 3, and you minimize the actual performance exercises as you increase. So it goes phase month 2 is 11 minutes in phase 1, 8 in phase 2, and 11 in phase 3. And August, third month is 12, 6, and 12. And then September, let's say that's the fourth month, or whatever the fourth month is, that's where you're doing the most mileage. You have that big event that you're going through. And so there, you really don't need a lot of time in phase 2. You might, but you don't. Save that for actually that weekend event. Well, and so if you're phasing, you're still doing a 30 minutes, but it's 13 to 15 minutes in the first phase of warming up the body and enlivening that body, and then it's like celebration in phase 2 for only 0 to 4 minutes, as well as 13 to 15 minutes in phase 3 of restoration. So now you could always increase phase 1 and 3, but I wouldn't mess around. I would only reduce, phase 2 and leave that for when you're outside. So to get started, sort of like with what the benefits of using a vibration therapy is, you want to get yourself realigned. When I say realigned or aligned in the best running posture that you could be in. And so we're going to work on postural alignment in everything that we do, as well as directional alignment. So your feet are always going to be in the forward motion. So, and your legs are going to be directed that way. I mean, how many people stand? I'm just going to come back and do it. Yeah, they're like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to run. And then they go out and run. Let me come back. And then they go out and run, and the left is going west and the other is going north. So you kind of like just leaving injuries, or if they're sitting down and they have that forward curvature, and then they stick their chin out. So first and foremost is realign yourself. Now, the benefit of the power plate when you realign yourself is that it stimulates all the muscles in your leg, and you kind of know where your injuries are or overuses. So I don't know how many people are overly righty. I'm overly lefty, but overly righty is the most common. And so I'm going to just show you some examples of a warm-up phase exercise, a performance phase exercise, and then a restoration exercise. And it's simple. I'm going to be using the sphere. I'm going to hold, of all places, in between my thighs. So that will give a good directional alignment. Plus, when it's on, you'll feel the vibration. And most people have weak VMOs, vastus medialis oblique muscles, and that causes IT band issues. So it's from the hip all the way around to the knee. So by holding this in gently, you don't want to like squeeze it, you just hold it in gently, and then it's already going to vibrate in many directions, the sphere it is, and then add the power plate forward and back. And the reason I'm wearing socks, and very colorful socks, one, it energizes the colors, as well as you get the maximum stimulation. Now you could do it with shoes on, but I don't recommend it. I think leave the shoes for when you go out for your run. So now you want to just have your feet parallel pointed forward, and possibly just try to touch the metatarsal connected to the big toe, as well as the pinky toe, and the forwardest part of the heel. When you could be in that position, you're not going to be back like this, and then you're not going to be too much like that. So the two areas that cause injury are overuse, because usually we go back and then we lean to our dominant side, and then we go out for our run. So we want to reduce any unnecessary tension and have just more energy from the bottom down. So imagine while you're standing up or not, is that your feet are like sponges, and you want to sponge the whole floor. You don't want to rotate out and not get the maximum absorption of the energy coming from the ground. So you want to have your metatarsals down, your feet are sponges. Let's call them just sponges for today. And you want to think of your head as a sponge to the sky. In my case, it's the ceiling at the moment, but you want to run taller, almost be in traction. When you could be in traction, you're balancing out the right side, left side, the top half of the body, and the back half of the body, and then the front side, back side. I'm sorry, the top half, bottom half. So all of the planes of movement. So now the first exercise is to practice with yourself and or with people is just stand with your feet fully planted and externally rotate your palms so that they're facing forward, and shift your weight so that it's forward of the heel and over the metatarsals, and take a deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. This is like if those who practice yoga, like Shavasana, but you're standing, or it's like tree pose. And so now if you add the rotation forward back, the lateral rotation and the up down rotation, you're now stimulating all the energy starting from your feet up. And the crown of the head is getting the energy from hopefully the sunny day that you're getting. And when you do that, you can even feel your abs engage. So it becomes, standing could become a plank exercise. So after you do this for, let's say, about a minute of the 10 minutes, like you just get yourself in place and you're working your breath, you lower yourself down and just hang over with your palms facing forward. And when you hang over, you don't want to shift your heels back. You want to have it forward. And so with the vibration, I'll just do it. It's actually giving much more stimulation. And the goal is, again, to have your feet over the whole platform. And stay down and then roll up. 3, 2, 1, 3 minimum, because most people want to go fast, and then lower down. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and so now with that, then when you stand up, you're like, wow, okay, I'm a little bit taller. I'm hoping by today, my goal for today is that I leave here 5'8". I'm 5'7.5". So I'm just trying to be a taller runner. So now this is, that's in the sagittal plane of motion where you come down to divide the right side, left side. When I came down, I actually noticed that my right toe has that tendency to lift up. So I just kind of like tried to push down on the metatarsal of the right toe and to get the absorption. And so the front toe makes minimal contact. So now, so second of the warm-up exercises is we're going to do the frontal plane and bring your hands behind your head and stretch out your chest. How many runners have this? And then, okay, great. I go running and it's like being on the computer as you're running. So you want to get your elbows back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And even just standing like this will impact your posture and extend the neck and head upward really effortlessly because you're now aligned. Again, if your hip was this way, all the energy of the power plate will go to the right or left, depending on which way you're going. So now we're going to do an exercise. So that first exercise is called needle and cotton, where you want the center line of the body. So imagine your spine connecting from your head drops down, and then the imaginary second half of the spine goes to the floor. So now we're going to now start with and do the frontal plane of motion. So now I'm going to move my hips, but I'm going to counter it. It's like a seesaw. I'm going to counter it to the other side. So I'm going to stretch out all this connective tissue on the left side. And it's not like I'm just letting this arm hang down. It's like my left elbow is being hooked. And if you stay like that for 1 to 3 deep breaths and then come back up, you're going to feel a whole different feeling. You're going to have like wind beneath your wings, and then shift your hips over to the right. And by the way, this is great to do anytime, and it just enhances the benefit because you're actually getting a little bit of a workout or muscle contraction from the power plate itself, and then come back up. So remember, just drop straight down and notice if the elbows are coming forward and try to bring them back so that it's a little bit, it'll feel like very much behind you, even though it's in line with your sides. So now we're going to add the transverse plane of movement. So we're going to twist and twist. So again, first and foremost, come back to your posture, and you can start with your hands here and then bring your hands to your head. You can even massage the occipital part of your skull while you do this. And you could do this if you're just sitting there, just put the pencil down and just do that. And you'll probably say, wow, that feels really good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting energy and oxygen and blood flow up in the neck area, which is where people hold a lot of tension. So, okay, so now I'm going to twist and twist. But imagine your waist is like a cover of a jar. And so every time you twist, you're opening it up. And where does the energy go? Does it go down or does it go up? So you'll notice it. Now, when you twist to one side, notice if one toe comes up and just try to keep it connected to the power plate that's moving it forward, back, left, right, and up, down. And just get that maximum absorption. Remember the sponges. Good. And then twist and twist. So I'm gonna do one more in the warm up and I'll answer any questions and then I'll go through the other exercises from the other phases. So now I'm turning my back on you only because of what I'm gonna do. So now we did this and then we did this. So the transverse planar movement. So now we're gonna do the contralateral movement. So you're gonna twist, transverse, and then contralateral. And as this elbow goes down towards your right ankle, the left elbow to the right ankle, your right elbow goes up to the sky. And then just give yourself a little massage here and come back up and then twist and lower down. Remember to check in with your sponges, make sure they're fully sponging and absorbing everything on the floor, and then come back up. So a way to enhance that exercise and be a little bit more beneficial to get some stimulation of the muscles in your neck and shoulders, which sometimes are tight. You put the sphere, you take it from your knees and you put it behind your head and turn it on, and then do any or all of these exercises. And you're gonna get that massage you get maybe if you go to the nail salon, you get those massages from the people in the back or somewhere. Good. And twist. Good. Excellent. So those are the exercises just to warm the body up. And for those that have been doing it with me, please let me know how you're doing. And I'm happy to answer any questions now, or I could go right to phase 2. Okay, I have no response, so I'm gonna go right to phase 2. So these are performance exercises using the power plate devices. And so now we're gonna start here on the power plate, and I'm gonna start off the power plate for this first one. And most people, runners, stride this way. So that is absolutely a foundation for good health. For lack of health on your ankle joint, knee joint, hip, and you're meeting the road coming at you forward. We want to actually allow the stride to open up to the rear. So what we're going to do is step back into a lunge. I'm going to lower down. I'm going to hold that position and reach my arms forward. So I have the sphere going, and what I'm going to do is actually rotate my arms on the transverse plane. So I'm practicing core stability and lower body stability while rotation of the spine. So reach forward and then back, forward and back, forward and back. And what I find really helpful is to smile. Bring right side of your ear to the right, right side of your mouth to the right ear, left side to the left, and smile. And it just makes a much bigger difference than to think. So it separates the unibrow when you smile. So now come back, let's do the other side, and we'll do 3 each side. So right now my toe is bent. So I'm getting as much as I can on that while I'm getting all that stimulation, and primarily through the hips. So if anyone drives a lot or runs a lot and has tight hips, this could be great for you. Not can be, it will be great for you. And you're working balance. So I have my daughter in the background, and she is mocking me. She's outside my studio. Okay, good. So now that is one way to just kind of like, if you tried it, you might notice, wow, I have a little bit more energy. My posture's a little bit better, and I've rotated. I'm so sick of being rigid in the joints, and now I'm loosening up, and blood is flowing, and the energy is going, and I'm reducing overuse of the always forward motion. So I'm going to do also like a side lunge, and you're going to have your whole foot down. It's like I'm pushing my left foot to the left, and my right knee sits down into a single leg squat. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the arms. And reach forward, back, forward, back. The cadence could be whatever you say, whatever you feel is right. However, it's entirely up to you, and you do what's right for you. So try to keep this knee extended and the whole foot down here, and you're sitting back, knee over pretty much as you can to the forward part of the heel, and then get that rotation. So granted, you wouldn't run this way. You wouldn't come off and run, but you're working the intrinsic muscles of the body, and you're getting all that stimulation on the inner thighs. Anyone have tight inner thighs from running, or tight outer thighs? So this is a way to work the body. So I just want to check in. Is there any questions? Okay, great. So we did forward lunge, side lunge, hold, and now I say side lunge, hold. Sorry, side lunge, hold, and you're getting rotation of the body. Now you can get back up on the machine and now swing your arms like you would if you are a runner, and just see if there's a little bit more pep in your step, because there will be. Good. So that's the performance. Now there's so many exercises to do in that 10 minutes. And you could just do these few, but do it repetitively so that you could actually re-educate the body in different planes of movement than you would if you were just going forward. So then the last way to reduce injury and just let yourself relax. You had a great workout so far, or you did a great run, you come back and then you just let yourself. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add one more, and that is the bridge. And then you start with your elbows bent at 90 degrees, your fingers open, and then press your big toes down and come up, hold it, and then lower down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press your elbows down, hips up, and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, you want to keep the sponges down so you get the maximum absorption of the energy from the power plate in all directions and circulation of the blood flow. So then I'm going to add the sphere and do the same thing, and I'm going to notice a bit more where my knee was replaced 20 years ago. It's hard to imagine, 51-year-old body and a 29-year-old knee. And I'm going to continue up as if I'm trying to touch my belly button to the ceiling, and then lower down, slow, 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 slow. So that's the start. So now it's going to lead into the restoration phase. And that's where you have your arms out laterally. You can either have your feet up, or I think it's better to have the calves, because most people push off their calves when they run over excessively. And usually they'll push their right calf if they're right dominant, or left calf left dominant, and just let yourself just be. Now, when you be actively. So the only thing that you should be focusing on when you're in this position is inhaling depthfully and exhaling depthfully. And depthfully has got to be in through the nose for 3 seconds, exhale through the mouth for 2 to 3 seconds. I'm sorry, 3 seconds to 4 seconds. And you can be more active. You can look at a point on the ceiling and just exhale and try to blow out. Pretend your birthday candles are on the ceiling. You're trying to blow it out. So going back to the protocols, you could do one exercise and 10 minutes, or you could do the few that we've done out of those protocols, or just mix it up to whatever you feel you need. So the most important is to ground yourself in phase 1. Identify your best running posture, and you could do this. And I say include the power plate. It's worked. It's effective for me ongoingly. My daughter, who had popped in and out in the background, I have photos. I don't know if if we could access it, but like they love the power plate. So they meaning I have twins, by the way, and so it's been an effective tool. I hope that whatever I hope that I can hear from you, and I hope that this has been valuable. And I hope to answer any and as many questions as I can for you. And thank you so much for your time. I respect your time, and I value that you gave me the time to be here today and learn something. And PowerPlate, I thank you guys for inviting me to lead a webinar.
Great. Well, we certainly appreciate it, Joe. That is all the time we have for today. So if you have any questions for Joe, you can call him or you can email him at runhabx@joefitnessworld.com. And to learn more about PowerPlate and the full line of products that we have for B2B solutions, check out our commercial page at commercialsolutions.powerplate.com. And we thank you, Joe, for all the time and information you've given us. And we hope to see everyone here on the next webinar. And outside of that, have a great rest of your day.